Hi guys, how are
Hello.
you?
Hi, good. How are
Good.
you?
I'm doing great. So to start, I obviously the overall theme of generational trauma is it's told in such an interesting way in this movie. And so for Kelly and Miles, I wanted to know for you two, when you guys were approaching these characters who not only do they we have to understand their relationship and really see like why these two love each other, but also like deal with that for Val, how was it for you guys to like understand who these characters were and where they were in that moment and build that relationship from there?
Um, I think for me, it really made me think about the ways in which we as humans will get in our own way of receiving love. Um, yeah, and Miles was just the best human to work with and made the experience. This is the first time that I've ever done like an intimate scene in a movie.
Right.
And doing that with Miles, like between takes, he was just singing party rock and just like making the experience so enjoyable and unserious in a way that just made it so much better. So I feel like we built trust pretty quickly and we were able to yeah, really find some cool moments together. But I'm just so grateful to Miles.
Oh, I had such a great time working with you, Kelly. We had a great first trip to the aquarium, I think was the first thing we did together, which was really nice. That was a good bonding experience. And yeah, I mean, as far as the themes and the traumas of it all, I thought it was important for me as a real person to be there for Kelly and understand what she was going through as an actor. And unfortunately, I think Robbie, as a character, is by definition oblivious to her experience and her inherited trauma. And that's kind of where he doesn't see enough that he can help. But he certainly tries. And Kelly did such a great job, and I'm so proud of her. And I was so honored to work with you, Kelly.
Dude, you're the
I
best. Oh,
Mm,
miss you.
mm.
We're gonna hang.
I,
Yeah.
I 100% agree. I think and Shal, I love the imagery, especially with all of the water in the film and kind of the through line of those underwater scenes. For you as a director, when you were kind of, not mapping the movie out, but like figuring out where those underwater sequences and the kind of bond it would have throughout the movie came together. What for you was kind of the most important part, especially about those scenes and making them as powerful as they are?
Well, I mean, I guess the water scenes are very like womby, right? Like it's sort of like the womb area where she goes and she's trying to hold her breath. It's almost like she's trying to go. Now that I think about it now, it's like she's trying to get back into the womb, which is sort of what a lot of us are trying to do, I guess. But in terms of executing those, a lot of those we shot on a stage just out of necessity. So it's not all really underwater. Some of it is, and some of it isn't. But yeah, I just really liked the water being this uh, extremely, I guess, like a meditative kind of infinite space in a sense. You know what I mean? Especially near the end when you're getting underwater, it's almost like this giant void. So it's at the same time like very intimate but very infinite. And so I guess just like getting the tone of that right and making sure that was there from the very beginning. I tend to like to have like some element of nature in there if it's going to be like fire or dirt or water, but I'm very drawn to the water in that. You can see in their bedroom is kind of like all it looks like that too. It's almost like in the bedroom they're sort of almost drowning in that space. And sort of just like yeah, I guess just like having it having it be this very meditative kind of warm space, yet still a little melancholy. I don't know. I guess it's all over the place what I'm saying, but it's I guess those just like this cold womb. I guess you want it to be a cold womb, and it was really fun figuring out like how to make it look right in terms of when you're actually practically shooting something like that. And you have like some fog and a light above and a big fan when you're doing this dry for wet. That was a really unique challenge, and then figuring out in post how you're going to add the different particles to give it that specific look where it still feels real, but it still feels dream. It's like real but dreamy at the same time. So that was a really fun challenge in terms of executing it practically.
I do like that you said we're all trying to get back to the womb, and I instantly was like, yeah, we love weighted blankets in 2025
Yeah.
and just kind of feeling that warmth and pressure. But
Yeah.
I love this character because as she is kind of unpacking this trauma and this thing happening to her, she has these people who very clearly love her, but like you said, she is kind of pushing them away, but unintentionally. When you have a character like that, what is the thing that kind of grounds you in who they are and understanding them when there are these kind of outstanding elements taking the people that she loves the most away from her?
I think so much of it for me is recognizing which parts of her emotions are subconscious and what's conscious. Like, I don't think she's conscious of pushing people away. It's just something that she's doing subconsciously. And so finding that balance for me, I think was all about just working with Shal and working with Miles and finding that balance in all of those scenes, especially that scene that Miles and I have, like sort of like the fight scene. Yeah, I think we were able to work together to find that nuance. But yeah, it was definitely a new exploration for me. So I learned a lot.
It was more nuanced. I suggested that we do wire fighting like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, but it got nixed. So
Yeah, and your wire moment got nicked.
oh
Miles was
yeah,
on the wires too. It didn't make the cut, but it was
I
awesome.
love the wire.
Yeah.
That's
And
fun.
a big learning for me was from Kelly with this character, which I think is just like a good piece of advice for in general, was that at first, in the script, you feel this like pressure to make your main character more like likable and more sympathetic, whatever that means. And very early on when I was talking to Kelly about it, I was trying to like find a way into that. And Kelly was like, "No, let's make her worse. Like let's go further with this character. Let's have her like she just had such a clear mapping of who Val was, and she was pushing to not try to soften the edges. And I think that's what makes the character so compelling and why you fall for her and why you sympathize with her. I think if we had toned her down in the way that I was thinking, it wouldn't have been nearly as effective. So sometimes it's like to have that, because in my opinion, I think it's like an extremely compelling lead. Like you don't just go for making them sympathetic. You make them unique and you make them very much themselves. And you have them like active and going after something, but not you don't have to play into that if there's enough going on in the character, I think. And so that was like a really good wisdom from Kelly on when you're crafting a character that's a little bit divisive. I don't know what the word is for it. Like a character that's not like just like cookie cutter, a good person, I guess.
We support women's rights and wrongs. But I love this movie a lot, and I can't wait for everyone else to get to see it. And thank you guys so much for talking with me today. I really appreciate
Thank
it.
you, Rachel. Can I just say I love your
Thank you.
nails?
Oh, they're all
Yeah,
They're
Daredevil themed.
they're
'Cause
fantastic.
Oh,
Daredevil's
sick.
coming
Love
out.
it.
So
Thank you.
cool.
Thank you guys. Have a great one.
Thank you.
Bye.